Hi friends, thanks for watching. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my latest experience and just to kind of warn other people who are coming from a major city that has people who are empowered and have common sense and um, just where properties are maintained. So I lived in Oregon and California before that, and I grew up in New York. And generally, it's like people, stuff is maintained, maybe not perfectly, but so I landed here in Missoula, Montana. It's a beautiful place, the most scenic little city I've ever lived in, and but being that it's a college town and its growth industry is basically disabled populations. It's either you're a student or you're disabled, and it seems like they even do this on purpose, like draw people here because there's a lot of insurance, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Like there's just the huge population that has those services, and so this city, I think its growth industry is the disability, mental illness, psychiatric problems, chronic health problems, cancer. That's the growth industry here in the city, other than the university. And um, so with that, the properties here, you either are on Section 8, and so you pay these crazy rents that for properties that are not worth it, but the landlords expect you to pay like $1,000 or whatever, $600 for a room, and they don't expect to do any maintenance, much less keep it up to code, or they don't expect to keep it up to code, much less do maintenance. Uh, And so I've moved several times, not even because of code, just because roommates nowadays, it's like, I don't understand what they're thinking, not flushing the toilet and it reeks, like opening the door when you're in the bathroom. So anyway, I was just like, what is wrong with people these days? And anyway, so I moved into a place where somebody had died in her room, and she was chronically ill, disabled. We had had a long winter, and one of the things I noticed was the only vent was, or the only window was where the dryer for the building vented out. So I would just smell everybody's laundry soap or their dryer sheets. It was really strong, heavily fragranced, and it seemed to kind of coat the room. Like it just kind of seemed to really kind of stick to the walls or something. And the vent of this room, of this apartment, is just a strange situation, and you can't really get fans to run and can't get air to circulate. So I asked the property manager to just extend the vent so it wasn't right under my window. And I suspect that the woman who died uh, probably did not have any fresh air for 8 months of this winter, of this long Montana winter we had in 2010 or 2009. And so I asked about other problems that I noticed, like the boiler is on the other side of this wall, and so the room it would be like, I don't know, I didn't, do a temperature, but like having a light bulb on, like having my light on would just it would be like 100 degrees. I'd be sweating in the room. And so not being able to open the window, having that boiler heat up the room, just made it very uncomfortable to try to even go to sleep at night, because it's just nicer when it's a little cool to fall asleep. So I asked about, and also the water, through the hot water, if you turned it from cold to hot in like 2 seconds it would go to 120 degrees. And so, I'm the only person who ever said anything. There's like 10 people living in this building, and I don't know if they have no other. I mean, I don't even have any options other than being homeless, but I don't know if people are afraid of going to jail for bringing this kind of thing up, but people don't bring up stuff. And so then landlords think that I'm some problem, some troublemaker. and if things can't be done, okay, I'm just saying, hey, this is the way it is. If there is a simple, easy, affordable solution. Anyway, so along with this comes this maintenance man. And if you watch my previous videos about predators setting you up, so he seems to like to be in a small space and expect me to come in that small space, or expects me to allow him to come into a small space like the size of a closet, and somehow thinks it's okay. And what's worse is the property manager, who's a woman, she's an experienced property manager, and I told her this makes me uncomfortable. And it happened twice, and I sent her the details in an email, and she told me there's going to be consequences if you continue your behavior. And so I just want to let people know, if you're on a fixed income, you're a single woman, particularly a single person with no leverage socially, Missoula is a terrible place to be, because you just have no rights. And I've talked to legal aid people, I've talked to HUD, I've talked to Housing Authority, I've talked to the bully human rights. Oh my gosh, what an incredibly horrible, heinous insult to humanity the bully human rights are. But basically, there's no justice. Like, let me tell you, my progressive liberal friends who think that there's advocacy groups, I think unless there's some like really gross murder that's committed like in front of a bunch of people, there's no justice. I mean, it's really, I'm not, I mean, like, because all of these organizations, all these advocacy groups are so busy, but they don't take like really screaming violations because they're so busy. What are those violations that they're dealing with that they can't, that they don't, they don't think your issue is of consequence? I mean, so I want to leave Montana, but I just don't know where to go. And I just don't know if I have I'm so spent, I'm so burned out after the past few years of the mold, the chemicals people spray here, the cigarette smoke, or the vaping, or the pot smoke. I signed 60 pages of contracts for where I'm living now. Either I'm getting pot smoke or cigarette smoke from my bedroom window or from the front of the building. And we're in the 60 pages of contracts that I had to sign, like you agree you're not going to smoke. You agree you're not going to do pot. And I think like the only people who aren't doing pot is probably, the children and me, and I mean, of course I don't know, but I mean, so it's like there's no clean air, and there's only so much a fan can do. There's only so much, I mean, so you wear a mask. I guess you get an air filter, but like I don't really have a lot of room for, like to have like an appliance in here, because the air out the window won't be vaguely clean air. I mean, so I'm just saying, and maybe this is going on all over the world. Like maybe it's insane and cruel and unjust everywhere. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like maybe, I mean, I know in some levels, like I'm gonna regret leaving Missoula because there's like it's very scenic. But like the drivers here, like you are inconsequential. You are supposed to jump out of the way when a driver is going, basically. And um, so I just want to say for people who are over 40 and thinking of making a change, I would stay in a major city, even if there's an apocalypse or something like that. Um, the the moral bankruptcy that's in smaller provincial places like Missoula, like it's so morally bankrupt. Like yes, the the Antifa people that are beating up elderly Republicans, that's morally bankrupt, um but there's still, because like I don't know, I don't understand it. I mean, I think because of the diversity of cultures, there's less like less way to be evil, like deeply evil, like complexity evil. Whereas when you're in a provincial city like Missoula, and I assume like other kind of places of privilege, um, like there's, I don't know, it's just this other level of of lack of morality. And so I just think like major cities, even though that's the worst place to be in a crash, that's the worst place to be in an apocalypse. There's not going to be water, there's not going to be food, it's going to be full of disease and stuff like that. I think that there's almost like those people are like, even though they're not biblical, they're not following the law of the Bible, I think they might actually be the prodigal sons of the Bible more than the like the sequestered, inbred um, parts of the country. And I can't speak for the South or whatever. I'm just speaking for Missoula. And I know I used an offensive term, but people from Missoula have told me, called it inbred, and I don't necessarily mean they're reproducing their, within their family, but it's like they don't really have had to expand their awareness or tolerance or culture that much. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure this out, and I know this is scandalous what I'm saying, but um, it's very troubling, and um, it's weird. It's like there's no hope, and I mean, it's led me to the Bible. It's led me to Jesus Christ, and but in the meantime, just how to endure. And I know prayer. So I just wanted to share, though, folks, don't run to the hills. Don't go to the inland, the cute little cities and stuff like that. I don't think it's safe or sound. I think there's just this weird culture here. So thanks for watching, and God bless you. Remember to read your Bible and keep in touch. Make sure you pray, and make sure, if you haven't become spiritually alive for the first time, if you have not become born again, learn about Jesus, his death, which was payment for our sins, and learn about Jesus' resurrection, which is his overcoming of evil, his overcoming of death. And with that, we do too. So just learn about that, and I know there's a lot of bad press about Jesus and Christianity, and that's part of a psych op on the part of Satan. So I know this is all kind of strange, but I learned about this just from my experience of how bad, how like morally bankrupt Missoula is actually. Like that's what led me to Jesus. So I know it's strange, but thanks for watching. Bye bye.